While I was trying to figure out how to start these videos, I saw on the news that they found those 12 girls being held in captivity in Pennsylvania. And I knew, because I've lived it myself. For nearly 5 years, I was a prisoner of a very sick, perverted man and his family who were almost as bad as him. I was 6 when my siblings and I were taken from our parents for severe abuse and neglect. I had just turned 7 when I was placed with my foster family, and I was abused in every way possible, and I was tortured by them until I was 11. Everything was taken from me. I was told every single day of my life how ugly I was and how worthless I was. I was told that my family did not love me, and when they succeeded in making me believe that, they tried to convince me that my family wasn't real, that I didn't have any brothers or a sister, and that I was crazy for thinking I had a family, that I had always been with them. Even though deep down I knew this wasn't true, they eventually convinced me that it was true. They told everyone at school, at church, all their friends, everyone, that I was emotionally disturbed, that I was dangerous to other children, I was dangerous to adults, that I would lash out and hurt anyone, which wasn't true, but they convinced everyone that it was true. And they also convinced everyone that I lied constantly. They were covering up what they were doing. And of course, at the time, I was a child. I didn't know what they were doing. I was in the middle of the worst situation ever. They told everyone that I lied just in case I told someone what they were doing to me, that they wouldn't believe it, that they would think I was lying. What they were doing was conditioning me to be a sex slave for my foster father. And that is exactly what I became. I was a living, breathing sex doll for that perverted son of a bitch. Years later, they decided they wanted to adopt me. And they had to have my mother's permission to do this. So through the court system, she found out that they wanted to adopt me. And on my 11th birthday, a knock came at the door. I ran to answer it, and I nearly passed out because standing in front of me was the mother I had been convinced did not exist. Beside her was one of my brothers and my sister, which I had been convinced didn't exist. And it just, it blew me apart. I will never forget. Mom asked me if I wanted to go for a ride. And I, of course, said yes. So we climbed into her 76 silver Monte Carlo, which I thought was beautiful. We climbed into it. Mom was driving. My sister was in the passenger seat, and I was between them. And Mom asked me, "Do you want these people to adopt you?" I said, "No." She said, "Do you want to come home?" I said, "Yes." So she went through the court system, and she eventually got me back. But that was on my 11th birthday, was the beginning of the end of my torture with my foster family. I want to end this first video by dedicating it to Katie Griffin. every time I thought about giving up the idea of doing these videos, I would see something that told me to keep going. And last night I was watching The Hunt with John Walsh, and he told Katie's story. Katie was abused by a family friend. She bravely told her parents what was happening. Her parents took the proper steps to have the man put in jail. He and his wife ran and are still on the run today. Katie fought the demons as long as she could, until the demons won. She was only 12 years old when she died. I want everyone to know that she did live, and she was a very brave little girl, and she will never be forgotten.